This is Fearless Careerist with Dr. Catherine Robert. In this episode, Catherine provides an end-of-year recap on the podcast, talks about her progress on her forthcoming book, and discusses exciting developments for 2026. Here's Catherine Robert.
Hello there. Welcome to the Fearless Careerist 2025 recap episode. I don't know about you, but as the holidays approach and I feel my productivity sapping away, I know it is time to sort the to-do list into what needs to happen now and what can wait till next year. Most transactions can wait, but I enjoy spending a few hours reviewing the year's progress and making plans for the next year. For our holiday recap, I'm bringing you along for the reflection. First up is our podcast launch. The Fearless Careerist podcast launched November 21st with our introduction episode. Since then, we've heard from 3 amazing people who are willing not only to share their personal journeys, but also to be my guinea pigs as the first few guests. Of course, there was a lot of background work in the months leading up to the podcast launch. Along the way, I held countless conversations with colleagues and friends about their careers and how they worked through needed job changes. I'm so grateful to all these thought partners and my guests for their conversation. I started with the familiar world of educators, but I'm excited to be bringing you conversations with people in all sorts of fascinating careers in 2026. From the first 3 people, though, we've already heard some common themes. The first is trade-offs and sacrifices in their early careers. Their first jobs met their basic needs of securing employment, but they otherwise endured long commutes, terrible bosses, and/or work that they did not expect to do based on their college degrees. In order to move out of those early jobs, our fearless careerists sometimes left before they had another job, despite the need for a paycheck. Speaking of paychecks, I really identified with Cindy Woody when she spoke about her family's decision to spend below their means. By not spending their full income on a mortgage payment, Cindy had the flexibility later to stay home for a couple of years with her young children. I spent most of my first decade of work running a contract bookkeeping service. Being what is now called a gig worker instilled the habit of tucking money away if my clients became unreliable. And they were unreliable, since most of my clients were artists and creative types with their own fluctuating incomes. But I did enjoy my time with them, and I learned a lot. Between my fluctuating income and my husband's teacher salary, we developed habits to keep our expenses low. This practice has paid off many times over in our careers and allowed us to take risks like moving to new places. Another thing I've noticed was that our fearless careerists all found a happy place at some point in their careers where they liked their jobs and the groups of people that they worked with. For example, Kristen Hermanson had that at Paramount, and Eileen Ettinger loved her time at Chicago Public Schools. I felt deeply connected to both my time at Fredericksburg Middle School as a teacher and to my time in Comal ISD running community education, then the Human Resources Department. Something about working with a great team of people makes the years melt away and the work and experience take center stage. One thing that was not consistent among the guests was how they found their jobs. Cindy was the most creative with bringing apple pies to the school district's break room. Kristen is breaking new ground now and exploring the features and training available through LinkedIn and other apps. Eileen had the recurring comfort of returning to her alma mater each time she was in need. Out of all their stories, we've learned that the job hunt is radically different today than in the past, though it still helps to know someone when you are applying. Finally, I want to point out that sometimes the bravest thing our fearless careerists did was to stay in a job rather than leave at a difficult time. The podcast features people's career histories, and we will be excited to hear about their moves to bigger and better jobs, but sometimes the hardest thing to do is stay in place. Cindy shared that she was turned down for a promotion, and she remained for another year before she decided to stay home for her family. Kristen and Eileen both had experiences where they knew the job was not a good fit, but they stuck it out for a few years. I've definitely had my fair share of staying in jobs during times of office turmoil. Sometimes I stayed because I believed in our mission and knew I could still do good, while there were other times I stayed due to the need for a paycheck. Talking about staying or going in a job brings me to our next topic, the Fearless Careerist book. In February of this year, I knew it was time to write this book because I was preparing to leave a job, and rather than spend the time job hunting, I wanted instead to delve into this passion project of talking to others about their career journeys. So I wrote my first draft of my personal career history and added structure for you, the readers, to work through your own decision process when looking for a job. The book helps you consider your motivation for looking for a new role, to consider the risks of changing jobs, and finally, how to engage more thoroughly in a current job. For example, have you explored professional associations and/or extended learning opportunities to advance your practices? I've provided checklists and resources so that you can feel confident in whatever decision you choose, whether to seek a new path or to stay where you're at. Either way, you will not feel wistful about the other path not taken after working through the book. With the second draft about halfway done, my goal for early 2026 is to start the book proposal and query process for an agent. I'll keep you posted for the ultimate accountability. Finally, my clients have provided the stability I needed to engage in the book and podcast. I've enjoyed returning to consulting and helping organizations and people consider policy, improve their practices, and make meaningful change so that their organizations meet their desired goal with the key element of satisfied employees working together in effective teams. Thank you to them, and I look forward to serving them in the next year. As I complete the book, the podcast is building our collective conversation about our work lives and the steps along the way. Our next couple of Fearless Careerist guests in 2026 will bring different perspectives about working, about how they viewed education for their careers, and the types of jobs they have held. No spoilers, but our first two guests in January already bring a different worldview than one I've considered. This is exactly why I'm excited to bring their stories to you. Not everyone was lucky enough to know exactly what they wanted to do for work as a teenager and then glide into that job for a happily ever after. Tune in to hear more when we return on January 5th. Finally, my holiday request from you is this. Do you know someone with a story to tell about their career history? Send me an email or submit the form linked in the show notes to nominate someone to be on the podcast. I'm so excited you're here, and remember, you're not alone on your career journey. Together, we can share our stories, move boldly into that perfect job, and we can light the path for our future fearless careerists. I'm Catherine Robert, and I can't wait to hear your story.
Fearless Careerist is available on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment there, or visit us at catherinerobertedd.com.